Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to all the people who are going to join us on the live and who are going to eventually see this video because I just started up the live. My God, what a bit! Well, we have a bit of we seem to have some Wi-Fi, Kevin. It is busy out there. There's a lot of traffic.
It's Christmas.
It's
Days to do.
Christmas.
Everybody is rushing, doing what they have to do.
And yeah, you've done everything you needed to do.
No.
Somebody just tell me, I tell her, I say, everybody getting a hug up from me for Christmas. This is not a year for shopping for me. She said, well, she giving them a box juice. And it's sad that I waiting for my box juice. But I want to, did you, I didn't get a chance to listen to the radio this morning at all. I've been busy dealing with the issues surrounding a lot of what is going on in the government right now, and the madness, with the release of the fact that there is no substance in the email gate. So now that Google has rubbished it, the Integrity Commission has rubbished it, and now the Commissioner of Police has rubbished it, the Attorney General is saying it is not over, but he is literally trying to force reality to fit made-up facts. And that is amazing me.
Why you were looking at the gay video? This is fun now.
Is that really her?
I said the gay video.
Or they have a gay video?
That's supposed to be Stuart in it.
Don't make joke.
Yes.
You see, I out of the loop with those things, yeah? People don't send me the bacchanalia, and in a lot of ways I'm happy, but yesterday somebody sent me a video that I happened to look at for all of 3 seconds and realize, wait a minute, this is somebody inappropriately attired, but I don't know who it is. But we getting sidetracked from the real issues with nonsense issues. I told people, I remember when the PNM was in power and Gary Hunt had spent $2.1 million on a flag. And when the public outcry hit, instead of apologizing, Gary Hunt went on national TV as Minister of Sport and said, we don't understand the value of national pride, and that he ordered 16 more of those flags. And let me tell you something, eh? I think that there was going to be a riot in town, and the only thing that saved Gary Hunt and the PNM was the next day, the Anya Ayangchi porn video drop. Remember that? Miss Trinidad and Tobago? Remember that video? That take the nation by storm.
I still have it on a flash drive.
That video take the nation by storm, and it's like Lacey Peterson in the United States. Lacey Peterson was somebody who went missing, and they were about to begin looking at a certain congressman that she was working with, and then 9/11 happened. Not Lacey Peterson, the other one, and 9/11 happened the next day, and for 2 years, the whole of the United States was distracted. They're trying that with us. All of that is from the playbook, the shock doctrine playbook. Keep them off balance and distracted.
How to do politics.
But come back to this though, because I know we're days before Christmas, but that doesn't change the fact that if you're on a plane heading to a party, you're on an airplane and you're heading to a party, so everybody in the plane happy and we're having a good time, but we find out,
on a plane heading to a party?
let's say we're going to a party abroad. I'm just using an analogy, and then you find out that no, because I needed to be a plane, I tell you why. You find out that the pilot and the co-pilot end up incapacitated for some reason. You think the party will continue in the back? Or will people start to panic and take notice that, hey, you think Trinidadians will party till we crash?
Yeah,
I think that's what we're doing.
We're going down and we don't care.
I think that's, I think...
And people be rushing to drink all the rum, drink all the whiskey.
You know what?
You
know what? You turn my analogy upside down, and you're probably correct. You're probably correct. Maybe Trinidadians will party till the plane crash. I don't know.
Drink everything first.
The reality of our situation is, we have a prime minister who has threatened to kick up another member of parliament. You heard that?
Yes,
You heard how he described his shoes?
Yes.
That's the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Doesn't that fill you with pride? Keith Rowley, the thug, wants to kick up Monilal. That's where we reach. And Faris Al-Rawi has said to the nation, you ever heard the song King Liar?
Yes.
But I told you this morning, never part of the song King Liar. Those of you who've never heard King Liar, Go on YouTube, type in Lord Nelson King Liar. It's one of the greatest calypsos you will ever hear. And it's about a man called Liar the Lion. Liar the Lion is the best liar in the land, and he wins the lion competition every year. But a man come to challenge him and tell him that he know a tailor who comes to make a suit. The man is a master. Just show him a man coming around a corner. He can make a suit and don't even measure. I'm talking about suit sitting down correct, expertly made and fitting perfect. He used to sew for Shakespeare, make suit for Hamlet, and up to this day, he ain't make a mistake yet. That was the song. And they said the crowd went wild. They couldn't cool down. They said Liar the Lion losing the crown. The judges brought the crowd back to order and asked the lion to lie about a tailor. He said, my man is the best. Rolfie is his name. Cutting cloth, making suit is his game. Don't show him the man. My tailor is class. Just show him the corner where the fella pass, and he could make a suit. That is tailor. You hear lie? King Liar. That's what Faris say. Faris say, forget that the man ain't walk around the corner. Just show him the corner where the fella pass. Faris gonna make a suit for him. Faris say, forget that there is no emails. Forget that the emails, even if the emails is fiction, even if Keith Rowley make it up in a kitchen in Goodwood Park, as we have been told, even if he and a bunch of co-conspirators concocted and created and fabricated a fake document to attempt to overthrow the democratically elected government from within the parliament, that is treason, brother. But stick up in. Forget all of that. Faris is telling you, forget all of that. Faris is telling you, sift through the gobar and see if you find some seeds, and we will consider that a victory. So he is saying, somebody tell me, if somebody come riding down the road on a unicorn, and you tell them, but there's no such thing as unicorns, they forget that, focus on the rider.
That's a good point.
Focus on the rider. That is what Faris Arawi is trying to do. This man has gone insane. I am telling Trinidad and Tobago, Faris Arawi is insane and needs to be checked professionally, because in his lust for power, he has lost his mind. You cannot tell people, ignore the fact that unicorns don't exist, focus on the person riding the unicorn. That is the madness that is your Attorney General and your Prime Minister want to kick up members of the opposition. Listen, we in trouble. Trinidad in trouble.
We have problems.
Kevin, we in trouble. You can't. You're undersaying it. You're understating it. We don't have problems. We in trouble.
We have a lot.
We are at a crisis.
And nobody really. The masses not saying. I mean, this morning I was talking. Maxi Coffee dead. Well, I don't know. I mean, brain dead, zombie, whatever. The fact is, they're not going to call a by-election because people don't want one.
I called on Asha Javid yesterday.
Listen, the people in this country don't want
I called on Asha Javid yesterday because I found out that Stuart Young, because of his position as a minister, his wife or girlfriend or whoever that woman is, Maria, who works in Ernst & Young, she was getting state-paid security. Why was she getting state-paid security? So everybody that Stuart Young sleeping with getting security. And I want to know. I want Randall Mitchell. Randall Mitchell, the Minister of Housing. I hear Judy Kanai. I hear could help us, journalists. I hear Khema Ramkissoon could help us, journalists. Are all of these people going to benefit now? These are questions now we have to ask. The truth of the matter is I asked Asha Javid, I said, help us get in touch with Stuart Young.
So you're saying that Judy Kanai are fraternizing?
From what I have been told, and I cannot prove, so it's alleged and rumored to be that the PNM ministers are having a hell of a time
sounds exciting.
with these young journalists that we have. But you know what? You know what? If that was the issue by itself, that would be a criminal issue, and I'll tell you why. Because these are the people that the journalists are supposed to be watchdogging, not fraternizing with.
They get them to go and eat well and drive a nice car and security.
So then why call them?
There's many a young lady out there.
Then that is not media. That is not media. Because media is supposed to be watchdogging these people.
They will say at the same time, well, I'm getting close to him, so I will be the first to find out story. So they will, and that's what they will run.
Oh, so you're saying there's anyway.
I'm getting close to him, so he will let me know things that are going on.
No, but I want to bring it back to this. Because we've been told that Stuart Young is involved in some manner of relationship with Asha Javid. And I asked Asha Javid,
long time.
but I asked Asha Javid to reach out to Stuart, because when I put out in the public space last month that since the 16th of September, the people of La Hoqueta Talparo have been without representation. Their member of parliament is, I have been told, is brain dead and is on life support in Washington. I asked the Prime Minister, if it is costing us $12,000 a day to pay for the life support for Maxi Coffee in Washington, bring him to Trinidad. Because the doctors here have reliably informed me that life support there and life support here is the same thing. And it wouldn't cost us $12,000 a day. Because Maxi, as minister or member of parliament, is not entitled to the state paying $12,000 a day for any kind of health care.
That is not money well spent.
But he's not entitled to it. So all of that is theft and corruption. So if that is taking place, that's theft and corruption, but we have to find out about that. But stick up in there too. What we needed to know is if he is in fact brain dead, then you have to appoint immediately a caretaker so the people of La Hoqueta Talparo could have a representative in the parliament, which is the point of all of this.
I keep saying, I say it again. They don't want one. They were just red and ready, and once they stay red and ready, they don't need anybody
I disagree with you. I disagree with you.
If the citizens had a problem,
very few people
say something, but they're not coming out.
Very few people in this country red and ready right now. The last NACTA poll, 87% of the population say they want nothing to do with neither the PNM nor the UNC. That's a wake-up call. So I think very few people who might have voted for the PNM before, not happy with them. They're not happy. I'm waiting to hear what. But waiting to hear what the Calypsonians sing this year.
Yesterday I went to the Tuco thing, and it was a talk at the table. You were sitting down with a couple of other journalists and two Calypsonians, and one of them was saying from 95.5. He waited. He can't wait to hear the Calypsonians next year, because he said every year traditionally you all support it, and they come out. No, that is not true. That is
the Balize competition. I'm waiting to hear.
They fight on you, but he said, but it's true.
Mr. Shaq. I want to hear what Mr. Shaq have to say. And if Mr. Shaq sing anything but politics,
they're singing what the people want to hear.
If Mr. Shaq sing anything but politics, I will dismiss him. He is a brilliant writer, but I will dismiss him as singing for his supper. And if what passes,
who's singing for the supper indeed? They call some names.
But Mr. Shaq, because he brilliant. That song, when Mr. Shaq had sang that song, and I remember the line where he asked about Ian Allen and his sister. He said, why is when these people always finding themselves in wrong party? I remember his sister with in Zen.
That sister just disappeared off the
yeah, but that was a nice, that was a good piece of, that was a good piece of writing. Mr. Shaq is talented. Mr. Shaq, you have an opportunity here now to show that you're a Trinidadian and Tobagonian, and that you're not just a Balize sounding board and a mouthpiece. So we look into you to sing a real Calypso 2018. Where we were?
We have to take a quick break.
Good.
People, it is now 11:23. Give it that time check.
Taking a break for commercials.
The superstore in Arima. I'll get that. Look at this.
And Anne is very concerned about you.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
They want me to come once they provide it. But it's kind of late. I mean, I don't mind going because I kind of want to be there because, I mean, because this is a worry. From one to one.
What kind of cancer is this?
Well, it's a tumor in her sciatic nerve. It's cancer. So she's going to the hospital on the 28th.
Thank God she's away. Where is she?
In North Lauderdale.
As long as she's not in Trinidad. Because here would have been hit or miss. Here we have some fantastic doctors and some fantastic capable surgeons, but you get the wrong doctor, the wrong surgeon, the wrong time, in the wrong place, under the wrong facilities, and you'll be in trouble.
I think I will end up having to go this weekend, but I'll take a few days.
Celebrate Christmas on M1047.
Give a lot of ads today? Give a lot of ads? I need to know.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. We have 4 more ads to go, peeps. Sorry about that.
They have 4 more bills for later on again.
They have to pay the bills, you know that. I mean, 104.7 gives us this show every week practically for free. You know what you were saying? Kevin is telling me, you know we live, right?
Yes.
Kevin is telling me.
I thought sales was probably live. That's what I say, wait.
Kevin is telling me that his mom has to have surgery. So he has to fly out and go up because she has. So they know it's cancer.
Yeah, they said cancer.
So it's tested and they know.
Yeah, they know it is. And that's the next step is going to be surgery.
I didn't know you could have had cancer of a nerve.
A tumor.
A tumor. A cancerous tumor on the nerve. I didn't know that was possible. There's so many things outside there that could. How old is mom?
64, 60, somewhere in her 60s. Oh, 65 for the most, 63 for the.
She ever smoked or anything like that?
I mean, people are saying it's probably what she eating. I mean, you don't know what causes it in your body. But my grandfather had bone marrow cancer. That's what killed him.
How old he was?
He was 80 something.
He got long innings.
Yeah, he did. When he got it, he didn't want no treatment or anything. He was like ready to go. And bone marrow, if that lasted long enough.
You know, I see that all the time, that people get to a place where they're ready to go. And I am.
What hurt me is he wanted me to come up there. Well, you know why he didn't see, I didn't come to him in the hospital. And that hurt because I didn't go. That hurt me.
She's too long that time. Yeah. But I don't know, at some point people just get to the point where they're fed up of the illness and they're ready to die. I don't know what it would be like to feel like being ready to die. I don't know. I see another webcam going in.
Yeah.
What are they doing with the Mevo?
Huh?
They got a Mevo. I brought a Mevo for Robert.
That one on me now.
And they live?
Yeah.
On what?
YouTube.
A YouTube channel?
Yeah.
So the More FM
Probably on the website.
website?
Yeah.
www.morefmtrinidad.com.
Yeah.
So if you wanna check it on that, they have a site where they have. So that one is focused on me, and this one is on you. There's
I don't know about this one yet. I can't say. I know this one is on because it's on me. I can see. But there's two screens on, and both are focused on this. I'm not sure about this one.
Trinidadians need to be cautious and mindful. I think we need to talk about that as they go about the Christmas. I have too many wolves outside there waiting to.
Alright people, so we get back inside a Sense and Sensibility up here, of course, on More FM 104.7. It is 11:27. That comes to courtesy of Prasad's Supermarket. We talk it. Things that are going on in the country. We have Mr. Philip Alexander here with us this morning, and we talk it. What is going on?
Kevin, the Integrity Commission was given.
That's existent.
The Integrity Commission was given. I want to tell you this. The Integrity Commission, the organization charged with overseeing Integrity in Public Life Act, was given $12 million in the budget. Now that could barely pay the operating expenses of the place. That doesn't allow them funding in any way, and it shows that we are our governance is criminal minded. We have no interest in oversight. When they were passing the law for the Integrity Commission, they should have pegged its budget as a percentage of the national budget so that the Integrity Commission could be funded to oversee all that is taking place in the country. But they didn't do that. So they left it at the mercy of government to negotiate and strong arm and twist. Because if you have the right person in the Integrity Commission, you'll give them $100 million and they spend $90 million stunting and going all over the world with their friends and family and not actually doing the job they set up to do. Because all of these oversight things, there is nothing but public pressure to force them to work. Nothing has automatic triggers in the system that if you don't do this, this happens as a consequence. Nothing like that happens. So people are literally getting away with
some sense of responsibility in our politicians.
But exactly. That if you do not provide an up-to-date statement of affairs to the Integrity Commission that you have 7 days, after which you will be banned from the House of Representatives until you are compliant with the Integrity Commission. Then the Integrity Commission would work. You follow what I just said?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no consequence to inaction. There is a list of people who are in default of the Integrity in Public Life Act, and that is just this. That is just this. I'm trying to understand how it is so impossible for us to bring any of these people who have done wrong at the level that has been done wrong to this country, how it's so difficult to bring them to justice, and why the Director of Public Prosecution's Office is not set up to respond and to keep the public up to date with all that is going on in the public space. We have no information. We don't know. People are looking at what's taking place with the Chief Justice, and all that is happening is the authority of the entire judiciary is being brought into disrepute. So now the Judicial and Legal Service Commission and the JSC and the Judiciary, the Law Association, the Association of Judges, that was something that was held in the highest of esteems is now brought low and in Bacchanal and Kankata.
It's across the curb when they question journalists in the curb and are questioning that now.
Questioning what?
Questioning Trinidad and our judiciary.
Journalists across the world. Listen, New York City is on schedule this year for the lowest murder rate since 1960. Out of 8.5 million people in New York City, they estimate that by the close of 2017, their murder rate would have been 300 people. We have 1 million people, and we are on target for over 500 people dead and missing to turn up dead. That's our reality. 8.5 million people in New York, 300 murders. 1 million people in Trinidad, 500 murders. We in trouble. And we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, are behaving as if everything is normal, but we're living in a pressure cooker. And we're not understanding that the reason all of these public office holders are doing the things that they're doing and getting away with the things they're getting away with is because the people of Trinidad and Tobago are not living up to their side of the responsibility and holding these people to account.
Why do you think this is such?
I think
that's a good question, because somebody have to hold them to account.
I'm gonna get to use the word racism because Robert not here. Because you know, Robert was here. It's not race, it's tribal, it's ethnic. And he is right. But Trinidadians, is like I keep telling people, somebody telling me,
the funny thing is, it's accepted across because you hear the foreign politicians saying the same thing.
Every creed and race find an equal place in the anthem. It's like when people come on a post, when you post a roti and you're talking about the roti and the curry and the skin, and they're telling you there's no such thing as a roti skin. I say, in Trinidad there is. No, all roti is roti. I said, tell me that again. This guy argued with me, right?
Yeah.
I said, he said dal puri, sada, paratha, all is roti. I say, actually you're wrong. Because dal puri is not a roti. It's a puri. That's a different thing. And I found that out. We call empanadas arepas.
Yes, we do.
And that's what we call them. So Spanish people come to Trinidad and find themselves having to refer to empanadas as arepas. Even though they know what an arepa is, because this is how we communicate. And that's the purpose of communication. So even though Robert wants us to educate the nation and tell them that the word is that is tribal politics and ethnic politics and not race politics, that's how Trinidadians communicate. It's like we say I'm ignorant, and we think ignorant as vex.
Yes, we do.
Ignorant as vex, not as not uninformed, right? We use the word argument to mean fight. But an argument is just a disagreement of opinion. We can argue in the most seated. A court of law is for argument. You argue two different positions. That's what argue means. Offer a conflicting or different opinion. But we use the word argument to mean fight. Yeah. Assault in Trinidad, we confuse that with the word battery, because assault is if you cuss somebody, that's an assault. If you hit them, that's battery. So now, the police...
Hit them, that's battery. Battery somehow implies that you're hitting the person more than once.
The police writes on a report, I've seen police officers write, assault with violence. But that doesn't make sense, because you've battered the person, but we know what we're trying to say. And Trinidadians use words I don't wanna name the person in my family because they will get vexed with me. But I have a member of my family who's called Baloney Bologna. Because because that's how it's spelled on the back.
No,
and God bless her soul.
Honestly, my mother used to do things like that on purpose.
Lasagne.
She used to do it on purpose.
Kevin.
And she's messing up her children.
I reach out in public.
Mrs. have embarrassed themselves.
Yes, I reach out in public I reach out in big school as a teenager talking about lasagne and bologna and embarrass myself.
Yes.
But that up to you. I remember I was in Great Race in Tobago with some friends. I remember Sean McLean and Derek Luck. Derek Luck, God rest his soul, he passed away. But I remember we were there in Crown Point Hotel, and I was 15 years old, and I talking about Champelisi. And I didn't know. I didn't know it was a French word, and they should have said something on that sign. So I call anything Champelisi and it turned out Charlize. So since then, when I say Charlize, I say it like I know what the hell I'm talking about. But I think they should put pronunciations on words, especially for words that are not Trinidadian or English.
I said, myself and Stratum in these mornings, I was trying to say Stratum, it was Stratum. For the man's of business, but I have to really add it. I was saying it wrong for a while.
Well, you see, but coming back to this, it is racist, tribal, ethnic division, divisive politics that has separated the people. You see, the people they don't even understand what's going on politically in the country, and that's the problem. And every day and every night we work overtime to get people informed, educated, and empowered. We try to give them critical information. You don't have to agree with us, but at least you get information that allows you to make an informed decision, arrive at a sensible conclusion, and have a proper argument. That's the goal. We need to get Trinidadians to a point where, and you do it, I hear you, and I know this station does a lot of it, engaging people in a conversation from a position of understanding how the thing's supposed to work. Like, I don't understand what net neutrality is. You following that?
They're trying, it coming down to, from what I'm seeing, is they're trying to have some level of control over what's put out on the internet. Net neutrality means it stays as it is. You could continue what you want. It's
free and open.
It's a freedom. You can't tell.
They want to police it. They want to police it. Because it's a free territory, right? And somebody said, if they outlaw net neutrality, all the porn sites will come down. And a comedian...
And them said, porn already running the internet.
No, but a comedian said that. 99% of all websites on the internet is porn. Porn has taught more men to type than anything else. And
if they have no porn, they have no internet.
Brother, if they take porn off the internet will come down to 3 websites. And 2 of them will be closing down. No, I really don't want to laugh, but it's Christmas and we have to find a way to stay focused and to find Christmas cheer. Everybody asking me, are you feeling the spirit of Christmas? Are you?
Not really, no. I've been around.
The nation is in
dismay.
dismay.
I'm going to this afternoon here, so I'm going to see what Port of Spain looks like for Christmas cheer. You know, I avoid Port of Spain. I go to the malls because...
You don't like the smell of fresh urine?
No! Oh, God.
Kevin,
Mixed with the smell of fresh coffee? No.
Kevin, I have never seen this country so depressed. And I grew up in a recession, a real recession, not Collins recession, not this fake recession.
Fake recession.
This is a fake recession. The rest of the world booming, Trinidad in a recession. But that's a conversation for the new year. But I grew up in a real recession, and people weren't as frustrated and as angry and as dismayed and as depressed as they are.
What we see is we have been told we're in a recession and times hard, tighten your belt, do more with less, and then we see these very people who telling us to do this, spending money like crazy on crap. They're wasting money, throwing overpricing things and spending the money. Price is no object right now. Meanwhile, the rest of us trying to figure out how we're going to do this.
People trying to get by on less resources than they had when the recession started. And the recession and government's bungling and mismanagement of the economy has pushed prices out of the reach of the average person. So people are frustrated and they have no idea where to turn. And that is the heart of the problem. You see, We've left the people isolated and unrepresented. Martin Luther King Jr. said a riot is the language of the unheard. This government is so clueless, I am worried for Trinidad and Tobago.
See, they're not close. They have an idea what's going on, but they're insulated from it. They protected themselves
No,
from it.
Kevin, they're clueless. They're clueless. When you hear Keith Rowley talk, when you hear Faris talk, when you hear Stuart Young talk, I mean, you don't even hear Daryl Smith anymore, thank God. Edmund Dillon, thank God. Shamfa Kujo, bless all the deities in heaven. You don't hear those jokers anymore. But still, the frontliners, Colm Ember, these are people with more degrees than a thermometer. And to hear them talk is to realize the reason there was a French Revolution, was because the royalty in France was so out of touch with the peasants and what they were going through. And the flashpoint, the last thing people had was bread and water. That was the last thing people were living on, bread. And for some reason, there was an interruption in the supply of wheat, and there was no bread. And somebody ran in the palace to tell Marie Antoinette, the people have no bread. And she said, well, let them eat cake. She thought, in her mindlessness, she couldn't conceive a world where bread was all you had.
Cake is more than bread.
She thought that bread could run out, but you have cake and you have biscuits. You understand what I'm trying to say? You have meat, you could eat. She didn't understand that bread was the last line. That after bread was starvation. And when she said, let them eat cake, the rest is history. I worry for my country because we have a government in office that has no idea that the government, and I keep telling Trinidad and Tobago this, the only purpose for government is the well-being of the people.
Yeah.
That's it. But that's it. That's the definition of the purpose of government. To look after the well-being of the people. This government is not doing that. And the last government didn't set the bar too high either. And that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have to understand that we are entitled to a certain amount of representation from that parliament, from that government, from that cabinet. And if we are not getting that, we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, who pay those salaries, are entitled to stand up and fire them. We've never been organized that way. So we need to get organized that way. But it won't happen if we're distracted by foolishness, chugging down Starbucks, borrowing money to pay for carnival costume. It won't work then.
I can't understand. People actually still do that. Borrow money to pay for costume. Borrow money to... I mean, yeah, you have a good time for 2 days, but...
No, but Kevin, when you brainwash people and take away their natural identity, what they're left with is the foolishness that you've put in their minds. That if you're not in this, you're nobody. And I tell people that all the time. That is why I wear, besides my Kenneth Cole shirt that you love, I wear no brands. And I only have that Kenneth Cole shirt because a girlfriend of mine insisted. But I have no brands and I wear no brands and I have no jewelry. I have no jewelry. I own no jewelry. This is not a brand. This is from Francis Fashion. Gotta give them a free ad. But and that's only because it's cheap there. But I'm telling you that I wear no brands. I own no jewelry. Somebody asked me, we misuse, we misunderstand the purpose of gold and diamonds when back from a day when the world was plenty more modern than it is. You know, this is not the first rise of man, right? You know that this is not the first rise of man.
First rise of man?
We've had more modern, because the ancient Egyptian pyramids and the Sphinx and these things 10,000 years old and more. And people should research that, but that's a topic for another conversation.
People have also the more realistic theory I saw was they diverted the Nile River to get the stones to float them down.
You really believe that?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there.
The world just...
It's more exciting to believe aliens.
Give me some stuff. Yeah, the Anunnaki. Now give me something. There's something called levitating mass. Levitating mass is the largest single boulder that man has ever moved. We just moved it. It's in a museum in the United States. It's called levitating mass. And you go and watch that boulder and what it took for them to move it from where they found it to where it is now. And then go and then realize that just in the foundation of the of Solomon's temple, the Wailing Wall, there is one stone 10 times the weight of that, 30 feet off the ground, put into space and fitted. And you'll understand that
it's floating.
No. Levitating mass is, they call it that, but it's made to look like that. It's set up to look like that. But it's heavy. We're getting so sidetracked. It's a Thursday before Christmas, so we can turn around that.
We have to take a quick
Take a break, my friend.
Okay, people, it is now 11:45. That's time check comes to you courtesy of Hearty Foods. And with that, going on here. Can I fight together?
What you misplaced the ads?
Mark.
Well, I mean, you know, we could continue talking until then.
Alright, yeah, I got it. Yeah. Sorry, Mark. He digging, he trying to put in new music. Sucker circle, he put it in.
You need to go and research ancient aliens. Now, I don't know if it's aliens. I don't know if we've been here before.
I've seen the TV show.
But man, you know they found a device off of Greece in the 19th century that was a computer, a brass computer.
Yeah, I've seen something like that, I think.
But you know that things don't last. Only stone lasts.
Yeah.
Everything else degrades. And they say 1,000 years after this time of man, if we all die out, everything will be gone. All the plastics. The only thing that they will find that will confuse them is all of the nuclear waste. Because those things have half-lives of 500,000 years or kind of madness. And they'll find those things in barrels. But I mean, I don't know the barrels will survive. But they will have to determine what exactly was going on.
For nuclear waste, how good I know what was going on.
Yeah?
Yeah, we kill ourselves with something to do with it.
We have like 12 more minutes of this show today. And I think to all those people watching us on live, we really have to make our best Christmas, but we can't lose sight about what's going on around us, because the analogy of the plane, that's it. We're literally flying blind now. We have nobody, the ship is not being captained, and we're in trouble. How many ads we have, Kevin?
Two more.
2 more ads, and then we're back inside with Kevin the Fraser. Why is Robert absent? I was hoping to continue our conversation from last week. Is he out shopping? Robert, are you out shopping? And if you are, I would love something nice for Christmas.
What do you want for Christmas?
Boy, I want
a brand.
I want what Stuart want, a life-size Barbie doll. Yeah, I want a brand. No, the reason I brought up the thing about the gold, I want you to picture a diamond ring. I want you to picture a diamond ring on a gorilla's hand.
That makes no sense.
That's how silly we look when we do it. That's how silly.
These are but you see, the people who have the diamonds,
you know
don't
what?
think so.
No, but you know why we used to wear gold and diamonds? You know why we said
it shows wealth?
It showed status in society,
Yeah.
right? And it belonged to the city. It belonged, but it's a way of saying, look me.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense. It serves no purpose. The reason gold is valuable is it doesn't rust,
No.
and it is the best conductor of electricity. That's why gold is valuable. Diamonds are valuable for construction.
But they have other reasons. They have other metals out there that seem more valuable.
You need to go and research Puma Punku in Mexico.
Who?
Puma Punku in Mexico. Go and research that. Research Nazca in Peru. Those 2 places I want to go and see. I want to go and see Angkor Wat in Cambodia. I want to go and see the underground cathedrals in Ethiopia, and the carved cave dwellings in India. There are a lot of things in the world that we can't answer. But we can't answer for them. We can't say this is where it came from. Those are the things that I would have liked to be giving my mind to, instead of the nonsense that passes for politics in this country. Kevin, if children wake up one morning and there's 6 children living in a house and they realize mommy and daddy gone, you think they're eating healthy breakfast?
No, they eat whatever they find.
The first things that get eaten, cake, ice cream, chocolate, biscuit, all those things in that order. Trinidad is like that. When we lowered the Union Jack, mommy and daddy left, and the children get to eat wherever they want, and that we getting sick on that.
This is where we have such a strong predisposition towards alcohol.
A whole other conversation. So many other things
There we go.
to stick a pin in.
Alright, people, so we get back inside of Sense and Sensibility here on YFM 104.7. Also, a reminder, nice quick one, Stranded by the Pool. Remember, the tickets are on sale. It's happening next year. Stranded by the Pool organized $200 for the general admission, 2 persons on one ticket, $500, and of course, the Ultra VIP is $600. Of course, YFM is the official station for Stranded by the Pool. The information you need, 752-9911.
That's an interesting name for a party.
I always thought so too, Stranded by the Pool.
Stranded by the Pool. That was a nice analogy though. Before, about mommy and daddy not present, so the children eat what they want. I think that's what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago, to be honest. We have no real leadership. There's nobody in Trinidad and Tobago that set aside their own personal greed to say that I would like, or we should, at least focus on the important things so that those least aware and the innocent and the vulnerable are taken care of. We don't live in this country like it is a real functional nation. We live in Trinidad and Tobago as if if a lion don't live in the jungle and the lions live on the, why is the lion the king of the jungle? But anyway, as a whole, again, other conversation. The reality about our situation, though, people of Trinidad and Tobago, because we have about 10 more minutes left, in no less, it is Christmas time, and you will be going out, and you will be going to visit people at night time, all the time. Be very concerned. I think it's time that we start building back our connections with our neighbors. When you're going out, tell the neighbor, hey, I'll be out, throw an eye on the house there for me. Because the wolf all around, and they look in. These people looking to break in your house and thief your stuff and sell it so they can get tickets to go and hear Machel. That's where we at. So, and to go and get stranded by the pool. To have their Christmas. We're living in a country so terribly mismanaged that there are people who, for them to have a Christmas, they have to steal yours.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's true. That is true. We do have to look out for the bandit types out there. So we used to give the security tips out there. We have to be careful. Time is getting closer. And you're seeing the amount of robberies that suddenly taking place and making headlines now. It's because these things are real. People want to have a Christmas.
But Kevin, people have to survive. People must survive. And to all the people, I mean, who think that poverty is not what is driving the crime and the mismanaged economy is not what driving the crime. Picture yourself, you and your children hungry, no water in the house. See how long you last. See how long you last.
I was looking at TV. Eat people at that point.
Survival instinct trumps rules, laws, social norms, opinions, and people need to understand this, that this is why we need to make sure that we elect to office proper government that capable of managing the country and the economy, the third wealthiest nation in the Western Hemisphere. We should not have people in that situation, Kevin. Especially as 100% of the people who have money in this country have money because of the oil and gas that come out of the ground. So it's a disproportionate allocation of the wealth of this country that has led us to here. We've had people who've seized power, who've gotten into office and used it to their personal and the enrichment of their friends and family.
That's what's going on right now. It's in our face. And we good.
When you're shopping, limit how much cash you're walking with. If you're walking with, try not to walk with no big handbag that people can stick their hand in and take your stuff.
Pull the money out to count it.
When you're putting things in your car, put it in the trunk, don't put it on the back seat. They will see it and bust the glass to steal it.
And the mall security will stand by the sign saying, hey, we know responsible.
The mall security will tell you that is not their job. What is their job? Anyway, forget it.
Good question.
I would think that the word security, the answer is in the answer is in the question. What is it? Yeah, but security mall.
Your car is the mall, the security.
Anyway.
If they come and deface the wall next to the car after they break in, that's what they will see about. You defacing the wall next to the car, you just broke into.
If you're drinking, do not drive. Do not overdrink. Young people, especially, alcohol poisoning is a real thing. I realize we at certain times of the year go mad, and you don't hear about the people who get terminally or permanently injured from alcohol poisoning, but it's a real thing and you can Google it. It's a real thing. You could Google alcohol poisoning and it could impair you for life. And you need to read that because people have a certain amount of alcohol. And when you see that people reach to the point where they drink until they're puking, that is your body actually reacting to the toxins and the poisons in alcohol and trying to throw it back out your body.
Yep.
So don't drink till you puke. That's putting your system under stress. And I can't believe we have to say those things, but we overdrink now. And if you're drinking, please don't drive. Please do not drive.
No, it's your car. Yes, nobody can tell you use a big man, but yeah, you have to take into consideration you could hurt yourself or hurt somebody.
That's the point. And the best thing I ever heard was this guy who said, I got so drunk last night, I had to take a bus home, and I can't remember most of it, and I'm surprised I made it all the way home. I'd never driven a bus before, and I don't even know where I get this bus from. That's a joke. Don't be stealing nobody's bus. But yeah, so carpool, lime in groups. Make sure everybody knows where everybody is, especially the girls. Look after the girls. Look after the girls. The young boys who now coming outside there, them looking to make their bones, so they're stunting hard. Make sure you guide them and advise them and tell them, you know, this is not the way. There's a better way. Yeah, and secure your home. And if you could, and if you have extra, share with those in the community who not as well off as you.
Yeah, I say, what about your Jericho thing? Are you doing anything for Christmas?
Every Christmas day we feed the homeless in Port of Spain. So we're meeting at 19 Stanmore Avenue, and anybody who would like to come and join us, we're meeting at 19 Stanmore Avenue at 10 a.m. Christmas morning, and we're going downtown. We're going to Riverside Plaza car park and feed the homeless there, and then we're going to Columbus Square with whatever we have left and feed the homeless there. So if you would like to come and assist us Christmas morning, 10 o'clock at
You know, that's the thing. Right?
Stanmore.
You hear what you're just saying, you're talking about there? And not too long ago on the internet, it was being put out there that you were a racist.
Who?
You?
Me?
Yes, it was out there on the internet for a while that you were a racist.
Robert should have dealt with that. I would be a tribalist. Or ethnicist. Ethnicist.
It was out there for a while that you were, and I'm thinking to myself, people don't seem to realize this is the man who goes out there and feeds the homeless for Christmas, and you know, and it's not like he picking and choosing what ethnicity he giving food to.
As far as I know, they have only one white homeless person in Trinidad, and the other day I gave him $3, and he was begging by Häagen-Dazs in Maraval.
Yes, that way.
Yes, that. No, but it's sad that people get to that condition, and if we ever do get into government, the Progressive Empowerment Party will pay very serious attention to the social development and management. That is where the solution to the ills of the society are. That social management, because of the mismanaged society, we've allowed people to get into such dire poverty that they've made themselves available to criminal enterprise, and we've ended up with gangs in 10 years. In 10 years, we've gone so far. When the first time I heard the word gang, I said, not Trinidad, you're joking.
That was nothing some years ago.
That was a joke. It's a joke. It's gangs. I mean, Trinidad is a dot. It's a postage stamp. If you had a Minister of National Security and a Commissioner of Police that wanted to end gang culture, it end today. It end today. This is a country that used to have a police officer named Elephant Walk. Elephant Walk used to lock up people by going up to them and tell them, you lock up, meet me in the station. And he go anyway. And you're going to the station because you don't want Elephant Walk to come looking for you. You never hear that?
People ask, no, but people ask you to go.
They have no choice. You don't want Elephant Walk to come look for you. That's how, you see, Chinese don't know their history. If you knew these things.
Obviously, we have to make a
You know, but before you go there, you used to have a fella called Spit in the Sea. And every day he used to travel to Kokori to Spit in the Sea. Thanks a lot for having me, Kevin. Robert Amar, you were missed. Trinidad and Tobago, this is the last show until the New Year. Have a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, bright and prosperous New Year. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago. We look forward to seeing you in the New Year. Thank you, Kevin.